Welcome to Astridology, the podcast that brings you knowledge, wisdom, and principles that can help you find the peace and comfort we all seek and deserve in our lives. Hi, thank you for joining Astridology with Astrid. I really appreciate you tuning in today. Today I'm going to finalize our conversation on spirituality in part 4. Again, these topics on spirituality obviously aren't all inclusive, but they're thought starters, they're ideation, and just inspiration to get you thinking about what spirituality means to you and how maybe your upbringing and your perspective on spirituality has shaped your life. Spirituality is a broad concept with room for many perspectives. In general, it includes a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves, and it typically involves a search for meaning in life. David N. Elkins said, "Spirituality manifests in countless outer forms. Underneath these outer forms, there is a common longing for the sacred, a universal desire to touch and celebrate the mystery of life. It is the depths of the soul that one discovers the essential and universal dimensions of spirituality." This next excerpt comes from Dr. Richard Schaub. Some of us are naturally inclined to develop our spirituality. Perhaps we've always had questions about how best to live, about the mystery of birth and death, about the way to inner peace and wisdom. Our rational mind, good for many things, is not able to answer these larger questions, and so we become seekers on a search for answers. For others, a life-changing crisis motivates one to go on a spiritual search. A loss, transition, or illness suddenly disrupts our life and compels us to find a meaning for our suffering and a new purpose in living. But probably for the majority of us, the motivation to search spirituality sneaks up on us during the course of our living habitual day in, day out life. We don't know why, but we begin to ask ourselves questions that we never bothered with before. Questions such as, what is the point of living the way I do? Why should I keep on repeating my life in the way it is now? Am I settling for a life that's too safe? Am I wasting my time? Is this it? What am I looking for? What's missing? Isn't there more? These questions generate feelings of restlessness, confusion, indecision, and even the simple things seem complicated. We may start to fantasize that the only answer is to change our life, get divorced, get a new job, move to another part of the country, or even to another culture. Drugs and/or alcohol can start to become important to us, providing relief by dulling our minds. In some cases, the internal stress of our confused struggle can produce physical symptoms such as nervous tension, insomnia, and various other troubles like digestive, circulatory, or hormonal issues. And the first person we go to for help is our medical doctor. The doctor will hopefully be successful in alleviating our stress symptoms, but the core of the struggle is still within us. We may intuit that something new needs to happen to us, but we don't know what it is. We become motivated to go on a quest, a search, a journey in order to find the newness of renewal. The ancient wisdom, however, is that this newness has to happen inside of us. Our habitual personality self has to cross the bridge to the universal to experience meaning and the feeling of renewal that we are searching for. This thought reminds me of a big tenet in yoga, that says everything that we need resides inside of us. The analogy is that we each have a pilot light that lives inside of us that kind of keeps the home fires ready to burn. And then taking on practices like yoga asana, meditation, pranayama, and even kirtan help to ignite and spread this light and this fire within inside of us. So as this thought from David Elkin says, everything we need exists inside of us, inside of our spirits. Because again, spirit comes from the Latin root spiritus, which means to breathe. We have to breathe life into our spirits, our souls, our minds, and our hearts to keep moving forward in life. What do you think? Would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much again for tuning in for these segments of spirituality. It is so important that we come to terms with our gifts and our purpose for being here. And I hope that some of these conversations have given you food for thought and inspiration to keep going on your spiritual journey. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you for listening to Astrodology. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support the podcast, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it by sharing this program on social media. You can also follow me on Instagram at Coda Life Goddess or at codalife.com. Coda is C-O-T-A, Coda Life Goddess or codalife.com. Thank you again for listening to Astrodology, and I'll see you next time.